Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Delighted to have my friend Michael Racher on the program. He is, of course, a Price of Business contributor. Love talking to him about what's happening out there in the business front, but also like learning about what he does to help mankind with his interesting company. Michael, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Kevin. How you doing on this beautiful Monday?
Awesome. Glad to have you here. Talk a little bit about what you do.
Well, president of Corporate Memory Solutions, and what we do is we help companies understand who does what, why, and how within their organizations. You know, there's a lot of people that are going to be leaving this workforce. You know, we're getting a little bit older, and you know, companies need to keep that knowledge within that company, and that's what we help companies do.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you guys doing to help facilitate that?
Well, what we do is we work with companies to interview their top people, figure out how they do things successfully, and then help them implement training programs and capture that data so they can transfer that data onto the younger workforce and retain that success.
Great. And tell us a little bit about your guest today.
Well, I was just lucky enough to go to the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Awards a few weeks ago, and I didn't get the chance to meet this man, but I got to reach out to him. We're going to talk to Louis Flory of FX Management Solutions. You know, the story he had, he was one of the winners of the business category here for the Gulf Coast region, and I'm just lucky enough to have him on the show today. So, Louis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, gentlemen. Sounds like you guys are doing quite well yourself.
Yeah, we've seen blessed. So tell us a little bit. Give us your elevator speech. You kind of remind us. So I think you've been on the program before, haven't you, Louis?
Yes, I have. Had a great time last time, and excited to be back again. And yeah, Effects is basically a labor force outsourcing and management company. So we partner with companies to help we take over the labor force. And the main name of the game is to drive down their labor spend to make them more efficient. And make them more profitable. When we do that, that helps them not only make more money, but outdo their competition and win more business. And when they grow, we grow. And that, to me, is the ultimate definition of a true partnership.
Very good. Michael, your question?
Well, Kevin, you guys, were one of the winners of the EY Award. What did that mean for not just for you, but what did it mean for your team?
I'll tell you, it meant a tremendous amount of validation. Is what it was. When you look at the people that were in our category, there were fantastic entrepreneurs with some great businesses. And quite honestly, we were shocked to see that we were chosen over some of the fantastic talent there. And, when you start a business and you have the people that come on and they believe in you and they believe in what you're trying to do, and we're all working this thing together, the first reward and the greatest reward is just building a successful business. But then to be judged with other people that have done a fantastic job in their own right and to be recognized as the top of our category was a tremendous validation for the entire team. And quite honestly, I love the Entrepreneur of the Year award, but it was really a management team of the year award for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Louis, what do you think pushed you guys over the top? What do you think was the one thing that your team was able to show the judges that made you guys the winner?
Well, quite honestly, the entire theme this year, they wanted to focus on what they called game changers. They wanted to recognize companies who had changed the game in their respective industries. And I do believe that is exactly what Effects has done, and I believe that's why we won. If you look at the staffing industry as a whole, we're the only business with our specific business model in our entire industry. And what we have done has put us in a position to be unparalleled in our ability to compete for business and to retain business, to be able to say that we're now going into our 15th year with 100% client retention is the greatest testimony, I believe, that our business model works. It is of a tremendous value to our clients. And the fact that we're the only ones doing business the way we do it in our industry, I think did make us the definition of a game changer, and I believe that's why we won the award.
Either that or you're very good in terms of blackmail, one of the two. So that's an incredible track record of that length of time. By the way, for the listener, the website is EXMS.com, FXMS.com. Michael?
Well, Louis, one of the things that when I go in with companies, one of the things we talk about is strategic growing and strategic planning. How does your management team sit down and actually strategically plan for success?
Well, the biggest thing that we have to look at, because it's not a matter of growing as fast as you can, as quickly as you can, or as large as you can, as quickly as you can. It's a matter of being able to grow, and for us, this is the way we look at it. When we grow, are we in a position operationally to be able to provide our next client with the same level of service as we did our very first client? And if we're not in an operational position to do that, then we don't grow. We don't take on the opportunity. So when we plan for our growth, we plan our operational broadband or capacity, if you will, around that mentality. Are we setting ourselves up next year to be able to take on the growth that we want to take on and still be able to service our clients? Because the goal is to be able to say 15 years from now, then in 30 years, we've never lost a client. So I think when people put their client first and they're honest with themselves about their ability to service any new business they hope to gain and service it successfully, then you can take on growth and be successful. I think when people get a little too greedy or a little too aggressive in growing too quickly, they begin to sacrifice their quality of service. They're sacrificing the needs of their client, and you may sacrifice the client that you have today for the one tomorrow, and in the end, you're at a net zero gain.
Got to wrap it up on that note. Michael, final thoughts with about 30 seconds left?
Well, it's just great to have the opportunity to talk to these types of entrepreneurs here in Houston. There's tons of them out here, and it's just great to have somebody as successful as you, Louis. And I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and looking forward to hopefully have a chance to really meet you here in the future and sit down and shake your hand.
I would love that. The pleasure's all mine, and thank you again for thinking of us.
Good to talk to both of you gentlemen. By the way, Michael Racher, you can learn more about him at corporatememorysolutions.com, corporatememorysolutions.com. Thanks to both of you gentlemen. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and you're listening to The Price of Business.